Welcome back to Chatter Nest. I'm really glad you're here today. Take a slow breath and just settle into this moment because today's episode is going to feel very real. In today's episode, you're going to learn real-life English used during a doctor visit. Not just simple sentences, but more natural, advanced expressions you hear in real conversations. You'll learn how to describe your symptoms clearly, express discomfort and concern, speak politely but confidently, and understand how conversations flow in medical situations. Also, at the end of this episode, I'll give you a complete list of all the important phrases, idioms, and key vocabulary, with their meanings, and when to use them, so you can take a screenshot and practice anytime you want. It's a quiet morning, not too bright, not too gloomy, just one of those days when something feels slightly off. You're standing outside a small private clinic. The sign is simple, clean, professional. You look at the door for a moment, and then you take a slow breath. There's a subtle discomfort in your body. Not sharp, not unbearable, but persistent. Persistent. This is a slightly advanced word. It means something that continues for a long time and doesn't go away easily. For example, persistent pain, persistent headache, persistent problem. And that's what makes it worse. Because when something stays without a clear reason, your mind starts to imagine things. You push the door open. A soft bell rings above your head. The inside is calm. Clean white walls. A few chairs neatly arranged. A faint smell of antiseptic in the air. Antiseptic. A medical cleaning substance used to keep places germ-free and hygienic. You might smell this in hospitals, clinics, medical rooms. There's a reception desk at the front. A woman looks up from her computer and gives a small, polite smile. Good morning. Her voice is calm, professional. You walk closer. Good morning. Your voice is steady, but inside, there's a slight tension. Tension. A feeling of stress or nervousness when something feels uncertain. Example: tension before an exam, tension before a meeting. She asks, "How can I help you?" This is a very common phrase. How can I help you? Used in professional settings. To ask what you need. You hesitate, just for a moment, and then say, "I'd like to see the doctor." I'd like to. Still one of the best polite forms, even at advanced levels. She nods. Do you have an appointment? That question lands quietly. You pause. No, I don't. Do you have an appointment? Means, have you booked a time in advance? She types something into her system. All right, we can fit you in, but you may have to wait a little. Fit you in. A very natural phrase. It means to find time for someone in a busy schedule. Example: I'll try to fit you in tomorrow. You nod. That's fine. You take a seat. The chair is slightly cold. The room is quiet. Too quiet. There's a clock on the wall. Each second feels longer than usual. You shift slightly in your seat, trying to get comfortable, but your mind is not calm. My mind is not at ease. A natural expression. It means you feel uneasy, worried, or restless. You start thinking, what if it's something serious? What if I waited too long? What if? Very powerful structure. Used to imagine possible situations, often negative. Example: what if I fail? What if something goes wrong? There's another person sitting across from you. They look calm, scrolling on their phone, as if this is just another normal day. You wonder, why am I feeling this nervous? Why am I feeling this? A natural self-reflection phrase, used when you question your own emotions. You take a deep breath, try to relax, but then you feel that slight discomfort again. And suddenly, your attention goes right back to your body. My attention goes back to means your focus returns to something. And that's the thing about health. Even a small symptom can feel big when your mind is involved. After what feels like a long time, you hear your name. Alex. Your head lifts immediately. Yes. You stand up. Your heart beats just a little faster. My heart starts racing. Means your heartbeat becomes fast, usually due to nervousness or anxiety. You walk toward the door. Each step feels slightly heavier than usual. And just before you enter, you pause for a second. Sometimes, it's not the pain that makes us nervous. It's the unknown. That quiet space between something feels wrong and now I know what it is. That space is where anxiety lives. Before we continue, tell me this. What do you usually say when you visit a doctor? Write one sentence in English. Take a breath. You've just stepped into the clinic. And in the next part, you'll finally speak to the doctor. I'll see you in part 2 of this story, right here on Chatter Nest.